Hello, my name is Steven and Toom, and in this video I would like to invite you to my workshop, where I will show you some of my work as a classical guitar builder. Enjoy the show! So the goal for me is to produce a guitar with a warm, rich, colorful sound, the Spanish sound. And I do that with my construction methods, with mixing tradition and modern elements. So at this point you might be wondering, how old is this guy and what's his story? And that's a good question. So I'm 23 years old and I started to build guitars when I was 15. First at home, just playing around, fiddling around with woods and my own guitars that I had been playing for years. And then when I was 16 I moved out to Belgium and started my classical guitar journey. That's where I did a 3-year extensive course in classical guitar building. Exclusively classical guitar building. That's where I learned about tone woods and about working with hand tools in traditional ways. And also how to restore instruments and many great old methods and techniques that I learned there. And then I finished when I was 19 as the youngest student ever in that school, which was fun. And then I moved to Germany, where some of my family had already moved, to open my own workshop. So in the last few years I have attended many guitar festivals, concerts and events, and also guitar building challenges. And I'm very happy to say that I've won 3 times the first prize, which is a great honor and a privilege. So at this point I spend my time in my workshop producing all these unique instruments, and they go all around the world. So I sold guitars in Switzerland, in Austria, Germany, Netherlands, Latvia, and now also in Asia. So you might have noticed that aesthetically my guitars are a bit different than what you would say is the normal standard. But that's also what I like. I mean, I also build guitars that are more normal looking, but I also build unique guitars like these. So this is a guitar with a spruce front and back and sides in flamed maple. So this is really a classic design, a classic traditional design, and a Spanish name for a Blanca guitar. And you know, this is also very different looking than, for instance, one of the more elaborate designs that I have built. And I like to build both. They have aesthetically a different purpose and goal. That's what I like. All my guitars are varnished with traditional French polish. So in the future, if there's ever an issue, we can always redo tiny bits. It creates a very secure and safe varnish, but still thin enough so the guitar can vibrate freely and resonate. Also, my goal is to create a guitar that is very comfortable to play, but still has enough room so you can really get some good power out of it and get some good use. I spent a lot of time on detail and marquetry work as well, as you can see on this particular model. I mean, this is a lot, but I can also do less. But I try to spend time on the guitar and make it look as a piece of art, not just a guitar, but that's actually a piece of art. So my guitars are a mixture of tradition and some newer elements. For instance, the headstock is a bit more tilted than traditional models. The tops have a bit of a different construction, but still single top and many traditional elements. And I use the Spanish method of assembly, meaning in the Solera guitar building system. So I don't build copies, I build original models. At this point I have 2, a smaller one and a larger one, both available with 65 scale length or more. And they're both inspired by, you know, the great Spanish traditional builders like Vicente Arias, Antonio de Torres, Francisco Simplicio, and so on. So those were my main influences in my guitar builds. Alright, so let's imagine that you would like to order a guitar from me. Then we have several options. The simplest option for you would be to just ask me to build your guitar to a specific measurement, and then I will build you one. But the other option is also a very nice option, I think for both of us the most rewarding, and that would be for you to come here or through a Zoom call, for instance, and select the woods and materials together. For instance, we could select a top. I mean, these two examples are European spruce or German spruce, but I'm looking at building cedar as well. So we could select one of those, and it would be in a way that we would look at it, and I will tell you how old it is and the growth rings, and we would listen to how it sounds. Then that would be something like this. So we would go with the ear and then listen to how that sounds. And then if you look at the other top, it will sound a bit different. And it all depends on what your wishes are for the guitar, and then together we can select those. And that's just for the top. And for the way how I build my guitars, that's the most fundamental part of the guitar. That's where most of the sound comes from. And then for character building, or let's say additional tonal color, we can add different back and sides woods. So for instance, the piece I have here, just as an example, this is Indian rosewood, quite a dark set, very nice I think. And that will have a certain way of sound, probably a bit more powerful because it's quite harsh and heavy. And then we also have a different kind of set, like this Cocobolo here, which is also a good option, I think, in my opinion. It looks a bit different, and also sound characteristic, it will be a bit different. Like I said earlier, it all depends on what your wishes are for the instrument. And then also how you want it to look. If I put it in the light, there you see beautiful orange and red. Or if you want something completely different, we could select a nice set of flamed maple. There you go. So many options to choose from, and even between the same type of wood there are different options we could take. And then, for instance, for the fingerboard, we could go with a nice traditional ebony fingerboard, which is, you know, a good hard wood to use for a fingerboard, and it has been used for a long time. Or if you're a bit more into the wild and funky stuff, you could go for Madagascar rosewood. I've used this before as well. It has a beautiful tone, and it's also considered a tone wood. Ebony is not considered a tone wood, and I can show you the examples here. If we go with the mic. So that's a very long sustaining note. But then if we take ebony, it's sort of, well, not dead, but it's going there. So you see there are many differences, each piece of wood. And of course the neck, if it's a Spanish guitar, it's probably going to be a cedar neck, but even there you can change to different species like maple or mahogany even. Yeah, so there you go. So this is the way we could select woods together, and for me it's a beautiful way to collaborate, because I really see it as a collaboration. It's not me just building a guitar for you, it's us creating this guitar together, because for me one of the most fundamental things is getting to know you as the player, to personally as well, so I get to know how you act, what you expect from life and from your instrument, and that helps me in some way to develop your instrument and to put your character in the guitar. So if we were to do a collaboration, we could also discuss the decoration on your guitar. So this is a design that I created myself, but if you like elements of it or you want something completely different, we can also discuss and elaborate on that. I can make drawings and we can design it together as a collaboration. So I also restore guitars, so if you have problems with your guitar, either fret buzzing, playability issues, or a crack, or whatever, please feel free to contact me and show me, and then we can discuss what might be a solution. Thanks for watching, and we hope to talk to you soon.